Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K and B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop. What up, y'all? K and B, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for C Plus Studios, and welcome to the Sexy Ninjacast. And we're going to be talking about the Batman story by Tom King, with Tony S. Daniel, John Romita Jr., just so many great artists on this arc. It's Tom King's finale for his run on the Batman series, the main book, and stuff like that. And it definitely hit some really hard emotional spots in my heart for the character Batman and Bruce, you know, and his life and everything like that, and going through the trials and tribulations. And it's a story of, you know, trying to find the balance of letting people into your life, letting someone who cares about you in, you know, and that's definitely building the relationship with Catwoman, Selina Kyle. You know, they were supposed to get married before this event happened, but they both basically kind of bailed on each other. You know, it's funny is I have the wedding invitations on my wall, and my wife laughs at me because she's like, it's not a real wedding invitation. But I was like, it looks so cool. I got it at the comic book shop. It's on a piece of cardboard and stuff like that. I got a really nice frame for it. I hung it up. Says, you are invited to the wedding of Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle. We all knew it wasn't going to happen. You know, they were really hyping it up. They were like, the wedding issue, Batman and Selina Kyle's getting married, the cat and the bat. And that relationship in City of Bane grew a lot more. And Batman got in this place where Bane took over Gotham. Bane made a deal with Thomas Wayne, who from the Flashpoint universe came back in, and his story comes in when Thomas Wayne got back into the semi-main universe and got back. He was in this story called The Button. It was a little crossover between Batman and the Flash. It's a great story, and Bruce kind of tries to connect with him. And Thomas in that story is like, man, I didn't want him to grow up to be the Batman. I didn't want that for Bruce, you know. So his fatherly instinct is just like, you know, I don't want my son to be Batman. I want him to be happy. I want him to choose a life that is not being Batman. And he will take on the responsibility of being Batman because that's his choice. So we meet Bruce in the starting of the City of Bane, where he's going through the mountains and he's trying to figure his shit out. But of course, you know, he gets kind of ambushed and then he passes out, and Selina finds him. Selina takes him, and at this point, the city's taking over. Bane's in charge of everything. All the criminals from Arkham, like Joker, Riddler, they're all basically the GCPD cops. The commissioner is Hugo Strange and stuff like that. Almost said Hugo Weaving, Hugo Strange. And he's working with Thomas as Batman. And Thomas as Batman, his sidekick is Gotham Girl, she was introduced at the starting of Tom King's run in the first arc of Batman's story with his new run after Rebirth and everything like that. And she has some crazy powers, but her powers are fueled by Bane's venom. So she's going around, she's trying to help Thomas. She thinks Thomas is doing the right thing, but she also knows Thomas has some, he's very, what do you call it? He's very extreme. He carries a gun on him. He's not the traditional sense of Batman. He carries a gun, and it's the gun that killed Bruce. And if you don't know Thomas Wayne's story, you should read this thing called Flashpoint. It's where Barry goes back in time, and he fucks up the timeline because he saves his mom from living. And he doesn't become the Flash and stuff like that. And the world just becomes different and brand new. So written by Jeff Johns. And that story is crazy because in this version of that timeline, Bruce dies in Crime Alley. And Thomas chooses to be Batman, a very extreme version of Batman. And Martha goes crazy and becomes the Joker in this universe. So it's very tragic in that sense. So in this story with City of Bane, Thomas made a deal. He says, okay, I'll be the Batman of this universe. Bruce is gone. Bruce ain't coming back. You know, he cleans up the city pretty much. Well, crime rate went down. Bane makes a deal with Lex, who has a little bit more pull with the government, to where he says, like, Gotham is its own thing. Fuck you guys. If you guys come in. So basically, like what happened in The Dark Knight Rises, Bane's plan to, kind of like keep Gotham in its own thing, keep the government out and stuff like that. And I would love to see this story kind of play out in The Dark Knight Rises than what we got. But, the 2 different times as this story comes out now. Came out like last year and stuff like that. But, the city is under siege of Bane. And Bane is in charge. And it's being run by the criminals and everything like that. And Bruce is trying to get healed up. And Selina's trying to help him. And in that side story with Selina and Bruce, they're just trying. There's this great moment where he's like, "No, the first time we met was on the boat. No, it was the street. No, the boat." And they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until they finally get to that point to where he goes, "It was the street. I wasn't even Batman yet." And he goes, "I admit it." And he lets her in. And the biggest part of Bruce's story with Selina that really touched me was they fall in love again, and he tells her like, "Yo, Gotham, I've always thought was my city, but it's our city. I'm accepting you into my life, and I'm willing to share Gotham. Well, me and you are gonna save Gotham. It's not just me anymore, because I'm the man that keeps saying like, I'm Batman. I do what I want. I do it by myself because I'm Batman. So he's healing up. Then when they finally like connect and everything like that, and there's this tension, and they finally come together, it's really beautiful. So while that's going on, and Bruce is on his healing journey before he goes back and both of them try to take the city back over. Robin, Damian is trying to, he's trying to, they told us that if anybody of the Bat family, like Nightwing, Batwing, Robin, Tim Drake, anybody that has seen consequences happen, and Bane is holding Alfred, Thomas is holding Alfred hostage. So Damian comes in and he confronts Thomas in the Bat Cave, and Thomas, they go head to head. He's like, "Oh, you're my grandchild." He's like, you ain't my grandpa. Fuck you. You're not even from this universe. And Damian tries to take him on, and it looks like he does, but Thomas takes him out. Thomas takes him out and stuff like that. And Thomas goes, "You don't know what you did. You don't know what you've done." And he told Bane, like, "Hey, this happened, so now there's a consequence." And it's just so fucked up. Like, Thomas ties up Damian, and Alfred is in the chair, and Bane tells him, like, "Oh, yes, I told you there'll be consequences to your actions," and Bane snaps Alfred's neck in front of Damian. And Thomas is just standing there, and he's just letting it happen. And Damian just goes into tears, and I go into tears because I'm just like, oh, and it's such a gruesome image. Like, wham, snap of the neck, and it's like, holy shit, it's a big moment. Alfred, Batman's right hand man, I wouldn't even say a father figure, his real father. So he dies. Damian then is kept hostage. Next, if anybody comes in, and he'll get killed by Bane if anybody else shows up. So now he's the hostage. So while everything's going on, Batman and Catwoman are finally getting it together, and they stop a shipment that's supposed to go to Gotham with Bane's venom to kind of stop all these other things from happening, and they finally decide they're going back to Gotham, but Batman does not know Alfred is dead. Alfred did send him an emergency thing saying, like, "Hey, I'm safe. Don't worry about me." Just as to not really, he didn't want to be in Batman's brain the whole time. He just sent him a fake message saying, "Hey, I'm safe. I got away, blah, blah, blah." So Batman comes back to Gotham. He confronts Bane. And he tells Bane, like, "Yo, fuck you. This is my city. Let's go." And he goes, "No weapons, no weapons." And they both get up, and they're like, "Okay, let's do it." And Batman and Venom takes the Venom off his thing, and then Batman takes his shit off. And all of a sudden, he goes, "All right, let's do this." And they go fight. And then he goes, "Gotham is not yours, Batman." And Batman's on the ground. He goes, "I know. It's ours." And Catwoman comes in for the save, and then Bane's like, "What the fuck? I thought you said no." He goes, "No, this is our city." And so they start fighting. He beat the shit out of Bane. It's just a great fight. And oh man, one of my favorite moments in this fight is when he picks Bane up and he goes, "I'm gonna break your back." And it's this great image of Batman holding Bane over. He's about to, but here comes Thomas, and Thomas shoots Bane, and Bane goes down, and Batman gets knocked out. And when Bruce comes to, he's back in his Batman suit. He's at the mansion, and he's hearing this message play, and it's Alfred's voice. And this issue alone was just Bruce waking up, then he's hearing Alfred's voice, Alfred's final message to him, because he knew he was going to die. Like, he knew it was going to happen, so he wanted to leave this for Bruce, and it's such a very sad, beautiful, it's weaved throughout the entire comic. You don't even hear Batman, and just in the starting of the book, when he looks over, he's like, "Alfred? No, because he's finding out that Alfred is dead, and he goes over and he's holding him, and he's just like, and then he's hearing, and this message is playing through, and he's carrying Alfred, and he puts him on this couch, and he looks up, and it's the portrait of Martha and Thomas and little Bruce, and the thing says, "You are not Batman," and it is heartbreaking and like tragic, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm reading this whole issue, and I had to like take moments and wipe my eyes, because I'm just like, oh my God, what the Bat has been through, and everything, and what he has to go through, and what he has to understand, because this is his real father. So after this all happens, he gets up, and he's cemented in this room, and he just starts banging the wall because he wants to kill Thomas. He wants, that's what he wants to do. But they finally get him out of the room, and he confronts Thomas, and Thomas tells him, like, "Hey, you're not Batman. I'm Batman. Go live your life, you son. Go be Bruce." And that's where the issue ends. And then comes in the next final issue. The final, it's a 10-issue arc run, and this is the final issue with Thomas and Bruce, and he goes. And it's just this great, like, Batman wins, of course. Batman saves the day. He beats Thomas and everything like that. And, he has Catwoman that helps him, defeat Thomas Wayne, because that's what he wants to do. And my favorite part is, like, when Batman, when he's fighting, he goes, Thomas is like, "I'm your father, damn it, blah, blah, blah." And Batman just tells him, like, "No, you are not my father." And just, boom, kicks the shit out of him. It's that moment of clarity, that moment for Bruce to let this version of his father go, because this isn't his father. This is not the Thomas Wayne that he knew in his timeline that was killed in Crime Alley. His father had a little bit more compassion and whatnot. And Bruce finally letting Selina into his life, it's awesome, because it's just a reminder of, like, you need to let people in. You need to understand and accept help sometimes. I understand that he's Batman. He can do whatever he wants. His character has been through the ringer. And to follow up, there's an annual issue that's inside the trade paperback of the City of Bane. It's this great, like, never stop story, and it's Alfred's writing, like May blah 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 blah. Batman, when Bruce went out to do this and that. I remember when he was a child, and it's just this great ending to this, like, chapter of Alfred's life. It's just this writing is like talking about Batman had to face a dragon. He didn't want to bring the League in. He found this sword because Gotham was cursed, and all these great little stories that he's telling. And Batman had to get a fight with a UFC fighter when he found out this UFC fighter, well, not a UFC fighter, because this trademark and stuff like that, but a cage fighter kept on challenging Batman, and Batman took the challenge because he found out this douchebag is a woman beater and whatnot, and he kicks his ass. And there's all these little great stories, and it's just Alfred's journal, if you will. And like I said, I've been catching up, and there's a series going on called Batman versus Robin. And in the starting of, like, I think it's issue 1 or 2, I think it was 1, Alfred comes back, but it's not Alfred. So he was put in the Lazarus pit, and he was possessed by some demon, but he was brought back to life to lure Bruce to this island. And Batman knows. He goes, this isn't Alfred, because he tested him on a few things, and Alfred's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah. But they get to this island. Damian is possessed, and he's fighting Bruce, and he launches an attack on Bruce and everything like that to lure him to this island and stuff like that, because I think it was the Tija Devil or something like that. He's corrupted Damian's mind. But it's a great arc. It's not over yet. The last issue is still coming. It started off this next event called Lazarus Planet, where the Lazarus Pit is going crazy, is sending magic into the air and everything like that. And that's the next story I can't wait to talk about some more. But there's a moment in the Batman versus Robin series where this Alfred gets killed again, but the real Alfred, he goes, the little hint of Alfred was still in there to come out and tell Bruce, hey, and Bruce is like, I know you're not the real Alfred. He goes, no, this is the real Alfred. Part of me came back through that resurrection of the pit, even though I was possessed, but this is the real me. And I want to tell you, son, I love you. And your mom and dad are proud of you. And I was like, holy shit. And it's just that last and final moment for Bruce to get up and go face, whatever lies ahead. And with the city of Bane and everything like that, it's just a great story within itself. Tom King, I give it up to you, man. And there's just some great artwork. And when I found out John Romita Jr. was doing some art and stuff like this in this book, it just filled me with joy. Tony S. Daniel and all the artists that contributed, thank you for this great story. And Batman's this is a character you got to constantly write for, and make his life tragic, make his life sad, and he's going to face some more stuff even after this, because after this, the Joker Wars happen, then a thing called Fear State and a thing called Shadow War, and I can't wait to review those because I'm catching up like crazy. I'm reading, man. I'm reading like a beast, and coming up next, he's going to lose all his money. I remember reading Joker War. I didn't get to read the City of Bane as it was coming out, but I did get to read the Joker War. He lost his money. We made Bruce broke. And Lucius Fox is in charge of Wayne Enterprise, Wayne Tech, and everything like that. He has the $31 billion that Bruce was using, and Bruce has to move to his townhouse. He leaves the mansion and everything like that. So more tragedy to come, and there's a moment, too, where he has to go work with Lex Luthor. So much stuff coming up that I can't wait to review and read. The next story I want to talk about is Catwoman Lonely City that I just read. I let my brother borrow it, and he's like, holy shit, dude, this is fucking awesome. So we're going to talk about that on another podcast. But yeah, City of Bane, man, I really did enjoy this story. It was very sad with Alfred dying. And it's a moment of this character where you need to understand that we're all vulnerable, and you also got to know that you got to push through. You got to be the Batman, and you got to accept love into your life. And he accepted that with Selena and Kyle. So knowing that the Bat and Cat are together, it's awesome. It's such a good story. Go check it out. I got the trade paper. I already have the issues, but I bought the trade paperback for like $22 on Amazon. Got it shipped here and read through, because the actual issues are in the box far beneath, on other boxes. So I was too lazy to go dig them out. So I just bought the trade paperback. I bought the trade paperback for Fear State, Joker's War, and also a couple other ones that I got a gift card for Christmas and stuff like that for Amazon. But go check it out by Tom King. Tom King is such a good writer. Like anything that has his name on it, I usually oh, that's mine. That's mine. That's mine. And Charles Zdarsky's run right now is fucking awesome. So, all right, y'all. Go check it out. Batman, City of Bane, Tom King, Tony S. Daniel, all the great artists that worked on this book from DC Comics. Go check it out. Go read it and have a good time. And remember, I'm Batman. And like and subscribe. Share it with your grandma. Share it with your grandpa. Share it with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And as always, stay sexy, ninjas. Whoop, whoop! Welcome to the wicked shit. Oh, yeah.